elite athletes that wanna teach and it speaks to the streets, so it feel right. Marcus Liberty, a legend on and off the court to give you what you need. Robert Reed is your co-host. Go. Yeah. Like and subscribe and follow like a crossover. Never know what might fall through this bitch tomorrow. So, all ball Chicago. All ball Chicago. All ball Chicago. Cause all I know is all ball Chicago. All ball Chicago. All ball Chicago. All ball Chicago. Cause all I know is all ball Chicago.
Welcome to another edition of All Ball Chicago. I'm your co-host, Robert Bobby Reed, and I got the legend, the NBA veteran, the McDonald All-American, your host, Marcus, living in the building. What's up, Marcus?
What's up, my beautiful people? It's Friday. We all here. We in the building.
Thank God it's Friday, man. I don't know about you, man, but this month then went back quick, man.
Man.
This year then went back quick, bro.
Because they're trying to get back to that basketball season, man. They know what we want. They know what we want. It's time to get back to the basketball season, man. We got college. We got, pros right around the corner. The NBA right around the corner, man. And
it's going to be crazy this year, though.
It's going to be crazy, man. It's going to be crazy.
The NBA and college.
College, yeah.
Oh, man, it's going to be bananas, man.
Well, let's talk a little bit about college. I know we always off the script, because that's what we do.
Right.
Who you think going to do it this year in college, man?
I haven't really gave that any big time thought, but I was looking at that Kentucky team because they got one of our hometown kids over there. They got Antonio Reeves over there, man. Antonio Reeves, I'm pulling for that kid, man. He got one of those like rags to riches type stories,
Definitely.
He was under recruited. He wasn't very popular, and then he worked his ass off there, worked his tail off to get to where he is, man.
And I don't fight that at all. I think he deserved it, man. He went to was it Illinois State?
Right, went to
Illinois State, and he put up numbers, and these kids, when you get recruited, they feel some kind of way that they know they belong, at a bigger school. So yeah, he went to Kentucky, and I saw them play, some exhibitions game. The NCAA lets you play some exhibition games during the summer months, and they were in the Bahamas. What way to play in the Bahamas?
I love the Bahamas.
And Antonio was the MVP,
of
that tournament they had in the Bahamas. So yeah, I'm looking for good things, great things to come out of him.
And I'm looking at the DePaul team too.
DePaul is going to be, definitely much better than they were last year, and Coach Stubblefield said, he was going to get some, better and more pieces to come, along to join DePaul eventually. He's getting a track record of he letting players be themselves, and I think that's a good thing for Chicago. That DePaul is moving in the right direction.
That's good, man.
And I can't.
Illinois.
I got to talk about the Illinois, because my Fighting Illini, they as well. They're going to be pretty good. They got some transfers coming in as well, and somebody posted something the other day on social media. One of the guys, I can't think of his name, but he was going up so high, man. He took off from the dotted line, and he had a defender in the paint, and I know he yammed on him. Wow. I know he jammed it, and but they kind of faded it out, so you couldn't tell if he got dunked on or not. But it was cool the way they did that. So yeah, Illinois is going to be. I think it's going to be a lot because you got my man came back from Gonzaga, Timmy. So it's going to be a lot, man. That it's going to be exciting. College basketball.
This is Timmy's second time coming back, right? Because he was considering going last year, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that NIL, man, like, man, I'll come back, I can make some money, and I still can play college basketball and dominate.
And you and I both know we both been to college, there's nothing like that college experience, man.
Correct.
It's so much fun off the court. People don't understand. That's where all the fun is at, off the court.
Correct. So let's jump on into the NBA, man.
Okay, let's go.
Let's see if you let's see if some of our listeners agree with what we're gonna say, and also they can chime in and tell us what they think or who they think has a chance. Well, not even a chance, but gotten better than they did the year before.
Well, let's start with the Lakers real quick. I know we had talked about that this morning. Taylor Horton-Tucker to Utah, Patrick Beverley to the Lakers, and Patrick Beverley finessed him on that comment he said on ESPN early this year. Remember what he said? If I go to the Lakers, they're in the Western Conference Finals.
But now he got to back it up. No, for real. Think about it. You said that. Now you have to back it up.
Right.
So
right.
I'm not saying he can't back it up. I'm saying now you have to, because it's out there. Mm-hmm. It's out there. It's no taking that back. People can Google it and see it. So now you have to back it up. Which I think Patrick Beverley is a hell of a player, man. But he's real vocal. And right. I think that's probably what the Lakers really need. Somebody to hold each and every one of those guys accountable. Not just LeBron trying to say it, but have somebody other than LeBron and other than the coach getting on players and letting players know, let's compete. If we compete on the defensive end, most likely we're going to be okay on the offensive end.
And, to piggyback off of what you were just saying, there was nobody on that team last year that was willing to challenge LeBron. And when they had Rondo, they weighed LeBron off like, bro, go through. And Bron respects that.
Right.
When you got a guy like Patrick Beverley, hey, like he said, man, look, nobody's willing to tell Bron what he needs to do. Right. So you need a guy like that, man. Now, the Lakers are still going to they're going to still struggle from the field. Did they get Buddy Hield?
No, they don't. I don't think they got him. I think they was trying to get him in the trade, and I don't think that's the trade that ended up sending Taylor to where he is now a Utah Jazz. But I don't think they got him. They still got Kendrick Nunn. Over there.
That's good, man. They kept Kendrick. They got high expectations for Kendrick if they kept him.
Right.
Because they didn't play him at all last year. And I was wondering what was going on with him. Do you know?
I think it was something wrong with his foot or something. I can't recall. But Derek Sykes just said, with the Lakers, where is the consistent shooting going to come from?
Right.
That is the key. Kendrick Nunn can shoot the leather off that ball. Mm-hmm. But that's just one player. So you're going to need multiple, gunslingers, guys that can shoot the rock from the perimeter. LeBron James is decent, but I don't see it. The Reeves kid, he showed flashes, but that's a good point, Derek. Me personally, I don't see the Lakers that much better than what they were last year. That's just my opinion.
Unless we get AD for the full season.
I mean,
and if we get a better version of Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, if AD comes back like he was playing and balling in New Orleans, I think the Lakers got a good shot. But if he doesn't, I don't see them. But I do see the Pistons. I mean, the Pistons have definitely gotten better to me.
Okay, who did they get? Who did they pick up on the offseason? And what's up, Carvel, and what's up, Don? Just wanted to get him a shout because they were saying, "What's up, Jim?"
No, definitely talk to him. I mean, the Pistons went through the draft again. They got the young fella out of Purdue, Ivy. I think he's going to bring something to the table. But I'm just talking about the core group that they had already with Cunningham, Cade Cunningham, and then they threw in some other pieces with them. Marvin Bagley is there.
Oh, okay.
So you got some guys that I think you can work with, and get better. You got the kid from Michigan who played at Michigan 2 years ago, Isaiah Livers, who can shoot the lights out the ball. You have some.
Oh, they got Kemba Walker over there now.
Kemba Walker's over there. I mean, you got some players, Bob. You got some players that you can work with. And Coach Casey is a player's coach. He loves young players. He loves giving them opportunities to shine. He's not one of those old school coaches where I'm gonna play my veterans. He's all about playing, guys that's willing to put the work in, and then he'll put them out there on the court.
Yeah, and he had a lot of success. What was he in Toronto?
Toronto. Correct. He's a development coach. He develops players, and I can't say that about a lot of coaches. That's in the league.
And ironically, you know what? Speaking of development, he had got that Toronto Raptors team to where they was right before the new coach came in and took them over the hump, right?
Yeah, he definitely did, man. And he said it. He's all about the development, but he also know the game too. You get hired to one day get fired. There's no other way to say it, or call it. What about the Atlanta Hawks? What do you think about the Atlanta Hawks, Bob? They got Trae Young. Did they get better in this offseason?
Let me pull their roster up right quick and see what
they got. They got your boy Murray from San Antonio, who was an all-star.
Okay.
What's his name?
They got DeJounte Murray.
That's what I said.
Hey, man. Hey, when you put him in the backcourt with Trae Young, you got trouble. Trae at the 1, him at the 2.
Yeah.
You're going to have some trouble.
Yeah.
Now, it's the other pieces that I'm concerned about. But they got John Collins, Kevin Hunter, Bogdan Bogdanovic, DeAndre Hunter, AJ Griffin. A lot of these kids, these are a lot, man. The league has really changed. They got Clint Capella over there. Clint Capella still riding the league on out.
Yeah, well, he was there last year,
And they got Justin Holiday.
So they got him in the trade, I think. They got him in the trade. So yeah, Atlanta's gotten a little better. I mean, because I think Murray can take a little pressure off of Trae a little bit from bringing the ball up, because he can handle the ball. He played point guard with the San Antonio Spurs, so I think he's gonna take a little pressure off of Trae and keep his body fresh a little bit, because he's bringing the ball up, having to shoot the ball. Now he can defer that ball a little bit.
That's gonna be big time for him to have DeJounte Murray, man. I mean, that dude's big time. They got our old hometown kid over there, Frank Kaminsky.
Oh, big fella.
Big Frank,
the big fella.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was hurt, man. A lot of these guys been getting hurt lately, man. And
they got both Holiday brothers on the team.
Yeah, the boys.
Aaron Holiday and Justin Holiday on the same team.
They got 3 of them boys in the league.
Yeah, that's
mom,
huge, man.
Mom and dad. I know they are very proud of their son. But so let's talk about the Pelicans.
Okay,
what you think about the Pelicans?
Let me swing over there to the Pelicans.
The Pelicans. Let's talk about the Pelicans. Because
first of all, can we get Zion to play a full season?
I think he's gonna come back, Bob. I don't know. What are they saying? Is he coming? Is he going to play in the exhibition games? They going to wait till the season? Is he coming back middle of the season? Or are they saying anything?
They say Zion Williams will be barely recognized this season because he's lost a lot of weight.
So if he comes back, I think Pelicans is going to do a lot of damage, because they already had a good team, a decent team with my man CJ McCollum and Ingram.
And Ingram. Oh,
yeah,
man.
So they already had a nice nucleus right there. And I think with those other guys, I think and if Zion comes to play, they're gonna be nice.
Yep. So they big three is Zion and Brandon Ingram and CJ McCollum. But let's see who else they got to go along with that. Yeah, they got Jose Alvarado, Herb Jones. These are just names that I know.
Yeah.
Devontae Ingram. He was pretty good.
Okay.
Larry Nash Jr.
That's the point guard from Kansas, Graham, you're talking about.
Yeah. Larry Nash Jr. He's pretty good.
Yeah.
He's tough.
Yeah.
EJ Liddell is over there. But he's out, though. Didn't you say he tore his ACL or something?
Yeah, he got hurt in the summer league, So I don't think he'll be back.
Some of these guys I don't know. Najee Marshall, Garrett Temple,
right.
Trey Murphy III. Some of these dudes, I don't know these guys.
You don't know them?
Oh, they got the big fella, Jonas Valanciunas.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the Bulls.
Oh, you know we love our beloved Chicago Bulls, man. Let me pull up the Bulls roster real quick. Because we can't
First
rely
of all,
on
they drafted the kid out of Arizona.
Okay.
I can't think of his name right now.
I'm pulling it up. I got it.
Yeah,
I'm pulling it up. Is it from out of
Terry?
Arizona?
Terry. Last name Terry.
Well, they got. You'll be surprised to know that they got Javon Freeman on here.
I know. I know that. But I'm saying.
Okay.
I think Dalen Terry is his name. Dalen Terry. Out of.
Dalen Terry, small forward.
Yeah. So they drafted him. That's their draft pick that they had, and they drafted.
We got Andre Drummond.
Yeah, big Andre Drummond is there.
We needed that, man.
Yeah,
we really needed
rim protector. Don't need the ball to score. You know, he's going to block some shots and rebound and play some good defense. I think that's a great pickup.
And from the looks of it, we didn't get rid of Nikola Vucic.
No. And he can score, Bob. You know, think about it. That big fella can score.
I like him, man. I like him a lot. I was looking. We got Goran Dragic.
Yep. They picked him up. They picked him up for a 1-year deal. I mean, I think they did that because you don't know what you're going to do with White. You don't know what you're going to, you don't know how Ball is going to come back, if he's going to come back healthy or not.
He ain't played a full season since he's been in the league.
Yeah, so people are looking, the management is looking at that type of stuff. So they I know a lot of people saying they guard heavy right now because they got a lot of guards, but they have to because they don't know what they're going to get. So
something going on with his body, man, where he's not able to play this game. To a long term, but they still got my guy there, Javonte Green. That's my junkyard dog.
He plays. He plays hard. Man. He plays hard.
Who was Marco Simon?
That's the big fella who played in the summer league. He was actually playing really good in the summer league. So I think that he can back up, spare some minutes at the power forward or the center position.
We got Derrick Jones. We still got Derrick Jones Jr. still here.
Yeah, jump out the gym.
We got Justin Lewis, small forward.
Justin Lewis got hurt too, though, so he might not.
That's the one that got hurt in the summer league.
He got hurt.
Let me divert the plane a little bit.
Go ahead.
It's been a plethora of guys getting hurt in the summer leagues, man. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, the big fella just got hurt. Chet.
Right, Big Chet that was from Gonzaga.
Yeah,
right?
He just got hurt in a
Chet Holmgren is in there?
Yeah, he just got hurt in a pro-am game playing against LeBron James. LeBron James was coming up the court speed, and he was trying to get back, and he got back on his heels, and I think, either he twisted something or but I don't know the details about it, but they said he's out for the season. He's out for the season.
Yeah, they're going to have to do something about that with those rookies, man, because
I just think that was
part of the game.
Yeah, I think that was just a freak accident, though. That's me. I think that was just a freak accident. But guys play basketball. You know how we did it back in the day. It didn't change. You play basketball to get in shape. That's the way you get in. That's the best way to get in shape. By playing basketball. Yes,
you can run laps and do all that stuff you want, but it's hard to what am I trying to say? Stimulate the game of basketball because it's running spurt, stop, move, pop, boom, boom, run back, run. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So no matter how many sprints you run in practice and all that, you can't simulate the game.
So I know we was talking about some of the other teams, and let's get back to the league. We ain't gonna go through all the teams, but let's go through like the Golden State Warriors. They won it. Now, could you look up something for me, Bob, and see did they get some more pieces? Wiseman didn't play at all. So I'm assuming he's going to come back a little bit, seasoning up under him from practicing and doing all the things with these guys. And what was the problem, really? He didn't even play that much.
He didn't
This
play at
past
all.
season. I wonder what happened.
Okay, so of course they got the big three coming back: Steph, Clay, Draymond. Then of course they got Jordan Poole coming back, Andrew Wiggins, James Wiseman, Jonathan Kuminga, Kevon Looney, Devontae. They got DiVincenzo, Dante DiVincenzo. How you pronounce that?
I don't even know who that is.
DiVincenzo that won the national title with Villanova. DiVincenzo that was in Milwaukee, I think.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, they got DiVincenzo. They got Moses Moody, Patrick Baldwin Jr., Jermichael Green, Ryan Hollins, and these last two guys, Gui Santos and Lester Quinoso.
We got some questions too. People want to ask. They want to ask, like one person, Derek, asked me. He wanted to ask me, did I play pro-am games when I was drafted? Yes, I did. I just love playing the game of basketball. But I played in the pro-am. I also, played in the summer league with the Denver Nuggets. So I just love playing the game of basketball. But it is a little bit different now, with all of the AAU and all the wear and tear on these guys' bodies. I know some of them love to play, like LeBron James. I know people question, why are you still playing in pro-am? LeBron James just loves the game. So he just keeps playing. But yeah.
Well, I mean, Liv, when you was in the league, you came home and played in the pro-am.
That's what I said. I played in the pro-am. It was no difference to me. I'm gonna stay in shape and I'm gonna keep playing. But a lot of people don't. So Golden State. Then you can't forget about that other team. In LA, the Clippers.
Oh yeah, let me pull the Clippers.
See, you forgot about the Clippers. I mean,
pull the Clippers up. The Clippers is the best team in the NBA right now on paper.
I mean, you got Paul George. You got, what was the kid name?
They got John Wall, bro.
John Wall is over there now.
Kawhi Leonard, John Wall, Paul George. That's their big three now. Now they got Reggie Jackson, Norman Powell. Terrence Mann had a good season last year.
Mm-hmm.
Luke Kennard, Marcus Morris Sr., Robert Covington, Brandon Boston Jr., Jason Preston, Nicholas Batum, Amir Coffey. Some of these dudes I can't pronounce their name. Wow.
All right, and don't mess it up, man. If you don't know it, don't say it.
Well, I think go ahead, Lynn. You say what?
I said, this is all ball Chicago, man. We ain't trying to mess up anybody's name, man. So
yeah, I think they depended on Kawhi Leonard and John Wall and Paul George to take them there. Because one thing for sure, when they fall through those points where they can't get buckets, John Wall gonna go get a bucket. But we haven't seen John Wall play in 2 years.
So that means his leg's gonna be fresh.
Or
he's washed.
Is he gonna be any good? I mean,
I still think he got something in him, man. I still think he got something in him. And I think he want to prove something too. I think he out to prove something to the doubters out there that thought that maybe he was done. So I think he got something to prove.
Well, he should.
What do you think about this, Bob? That players that's sticking with their teams from day one, like your boy down in Portland, like your boy at Washington, Bradley Beal at Washington.
I respect that, man, and I admire that because ultimately, Liv, it's all about maximizing your financial earnings. While most people are chasing titles, it's all about making more money on your job. Like you train, you coach, the more money they offer you, the longer you're gonna stay.
Yeah, but that's a good point. But I want to know, Bob, why? I mean, do you think like if certain players go in and say, you know what, I'm coming to win championships, and then you have certain players that saying, you know what, I'm just trying to get paid. I don't think Michael Jordan, I'm just gonna say Michael Jordan's name. I don't think he went into the NBA saying, I'm trying to get all the money. I think he went in saying, I want to win championships.
Right.
And the money came eventually, but it's not like what they're making now. But Michael Jordan, I think, because that drives you, right? Because I think if it's all about the money, right, you're gonna get the money. Then what?
Well, because of the life of an NBA player is usually only 5 years, statistically. The average player, the turnaround, it's 5 years. You could be out of the league. So the longevity part is not guaranteed. So it's important for you to maximize your financial earnings, man, because it's a business. I know everybody want to win titles, but you got to get the money, man. You got to get the money, man. And that's what I admire about Damian Lillard and Bradley Beal, man. They stand put. And Michael Jordan stayed put because that was the culture back then anyway. Larry Legend, Magic Johnson, Isaiah Thomas. Those guys didn't jump teams. They wanted to beat up on each other. But this is a different time we live in now, and there's so much money being paid out. So it's hard to walk away from $193 million, man, for 4 years, 4 years to stay on a crappy team. I'm staying on that crappy team for that $194 million, man.
Yeah, but you got to think about this though. Like, you got to hear me out.
Okay.
If you ain't winning, you ain't getting the fans in the stands. The owner's gonna get mad. I paid you this bread, and we not winning. So what is it the player should do? That's why you see a lot of players moving, because they know if they get with a winning organization, they gonna get the bag anyway. They're gonna
not
get the
all
bag.
the time. Not all the time. Now, like Damian Lillard would.
That's what I'm saying. That's the players I'm talking about, because those are the players that's gonna get the big bags.
Right.
Those
like
super max. They're gonna get those super max deals. So I'm saying, why are they not doing what everybody else is doing? LeBron James is doing it. He got AD.
And then they get a chance to look at what happened to Russell Westbrook last year. You jump ship, you go play with LeBron, you look like total crap. Paul George, you leave, you go play with the Clippers. Well, they got the money, but they not winning no title. They didn't win no title. It's been 3 years already. Him and Kawhi Leonard been over in the Clippers for 3-4 years now? And they still have not won a title. Like, I respect what you're saying. I agree with you 100% to try to go get the title, but it's not guaranteed.
Yeah, that just makes you feel some kind of way, though. I mean, if I'm always losing and I'm getting the bag, yeah, I'm cool with the bag, but, man, mentally, man, I'm going back home, man. Shorty's looking at me like, man, you ain't winning no championship. You ain't winning. You lost to such and such, And,
right.
And it makes you feel lesser than a basketball player, like you get in the bag, but you can't win.
Well, it's an AAU culture that we're living in right now with professional basketball. You know that. All the AAU teams, they usually go get the best players, pile them up all on one team. And that's what LeBron did over in LA. And Lillard want to do his own thing in Portland. That's why I respect him. If he could just get some guys to come play with him, to come over there, they could be fine. But to leave there and then go play somewhere else, and the security part, like where would he go? Well, if you was Damian Lillard, where would you go? I would probably go. Only place I would potentially even consider going is Milwaukee.
That would be a good one. Milwaukee Bucks would be definitely a good spot for him.
Because I look at the Greek Freak and how they play together.
Boston wouldn't be a bad fit.
I was going to say Boston too. That'd be a good feel for him. But he cannot go play with LeBron and KD now.
I wasn't talking about playing with LeBron, but I was saying like a Boston Celtics who really doesn't have a true point guard. I mean, Marcus Smart was playing the point position, but Marcus Smart was more of a two guard that could lock up and play good defense. You bring in him, Damian Lillard, you put Dame in at the point. Now you got something special.
Yeah. You put Damian Lillard there this year, they can beat Golden State.
Yeah.
I get him.
I like that, man. But you
put him in Miami and they beat Golden State.
That's a good one too. Miami is a good one. I'm just saying, Bob. I just threw it out there, man, because I know a lot of people. Oh wow! Look at this one. I got to pull this one up. I'm gonna pull it up.
Okay. What about trading Lonzo Ball for Lillard? I would love to see that. That would make us legit.
Now you okay with it?
Hey, my son Kobe would love that. That's his favorite player. Kobe loved Lillard, so I get it. Lillard, you can pretty much plug him anywhere, and it makes a team legit. But like I know, Liv, you play in the NBA. It's all about management. And if you go to a team and it's toxic, the locker room, it's not professional. One thing we know, Boston, who else we say? Milwaukee, Miami, Pat Riley, they're not playing. Dude, you're going to come here, you're going to be a professional, you're not going to be a cancer for this team, and you're going to get your butt up out of here. So a guy like Lillard, he needs stability, man. He just can't go over to the Lakers or go to Brooklyn, even though he'll look good over there with KD and them.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's loyal. That's one thing we say. Damon, Damon, he is definitely loyal to Portland. Signed that nice big contract. To stay put.
Like 180 million.
I don't know what it was, but I think it was
120 million. 120 million, 60 million a year.
Right, 2 years, right?
2 years.
Right.
And then J.R. Smith gonna tell him, why is he staying in Portland? You over there rotting. And then Lillard's rebuttal was, why should I leave and be passed around like a blunt like you?
Right. Wow.
Yeah, man.
There we go.
Carvel Bailey, hold on. You lose some passing skill, but gain straight up dog in Lillard. I agree. Yeah. Carvel said, y'all remember Jordan had the love of the game clause in his game. Yep, you're right. And that's one thing about the NBA. They wasn't letting you guys play during the offseason. But Lily Pad is about the hottest. He's about the hottest commodity out here because he's tried to play every game. He was hurt last year.
Who was that, Bob?
Lillard. Let's see who did they get this past year. Let me pull up Lillard's roster. Let me see did they get any good acquisitions over the because I know they thought KD was gonna get out of there. You see, they made KD sit his butt there.
It's only one guy or one team that can win a championship. So it's not a bunch of guys that can win championships either. So crazy.
Let's see what David letting them roster look like real quick, because I know that they got some good pickups if I'm not mistaken.
I'm trying to look at some of these comments too.
Okay.
Definitely, Michael Jordan played for the love of the game. I mean, a lot of people I think play for the love of the game, and they want to continue to play no matter what. I knew I loved playing the game, and I still play the game to this day.
They got Gary Payton Jr. over there.
Oh, Gary, okay. He got a bag.
Yeah, after being a journeyman.
Yeah.
Ben McLemore.
Oh, from Kansas. Used to play at Kansas. He was in Sacramento. Hold on, Bob. You go ahead, keep going right quick.
Okay. Yeah.
Look at some of the comments. Look at some of the comments.
Okay. Yeah, fellas, let me just hop on these comments and keep it going while I Liv step away. In my opinion, I think that the team to beat this year, I'm gonna go out on a limb right now. If KD and Kyrie and what's my man name, Ben Simmons, come back and come back and lock into that Brooklyn Nets team, they can win the title. That's my opinion.
Who was that, Bob?
I said if KD, because KD got to come back now, and Kyrie and Ben Simmons come back together this season, in shape and locked in, they'll win the title this year.
Okay. I'm a KD. I'm a KD, type of guy. I like KD. But do you think, since he came out publicly and asked for a trade, how do you think management is looking at it? Do you think they had some conversations behind closed doors about, the expectation on both sides, not just from KD, but from the organization as well? Do you think they had some of those conversations behind closed doors? And that's what kind of pushed him back into the mix, because you got to think Ben Simmons is still over there too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people don't talk about him because he didn't really play in the last couple of years.
Right, he haven't played at all.
You know, so you're not mentioning him. Maybe KD sees something that, hey, if he comes and plays and he plays the way he's capable of playing, maybe we have something here.
Yeah, I think honestly, KD, anytime he's healthy, and if you can get a healthy Kyrie, you know, you got a chance, man. You know, but I like what all the NBA guys were saying about that whole KD thing. Did you see the comments with Isaiah Thomas now and Patrick Beverly now?
No,
they was like, man. Patrick Beverly came out like, hey, listen, man, I'm so glad this whole KD drama thing is over with. He just held the league hostage with where he's going. Now, can everybody else get signed? Because teams wasn't making a move until they found out what Kyrie or what KD was going to go. And Isaiah Thomas said it too. Like, man, it's unfair to everybody else in the NBA that KD has held the whole league hostage, right? KD came back on Twitter, hashtag blame KD. But he's right. They right though.
I don't think he held nobody hostage, Bob. Come on, organizations make their own moves and how they want to move anyway. You know, so I think sometimes basketball players talk just to be talking, to hear themselves talk. You know, because
they was very sincere.
Yeah, but what was the call? What KD is the commissioner of the NBA now?
What they was basically saying, because so many teams was jockeying to get KD, that they was not looking to sign other guys until they found out if they were going to be able to get the KD sweepstakes.
Well, I don't think it was a bunch of teams jockeying position. I think it was only 2 teams that was really trying to make something happen. You know. So I don't think it was a whole lot of teams really, unless they didn't come out publicly and say it. It was only 2 teams that was really in the hunt was trying to get him. You know, I think Boston was one of them, and I can't think of the other team. But I don't think he was going to go play with the Lakers. That's one thing I don't think he was going to try to do.
Was he really trying to go back to Golden State?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe, but I didn't hear that a lot, but maybe that was a possibility. You know, it's the era we're in, Bob. Just face it. We got to face it. This is the generation. This is the era we are in right now, that the players can dictate what's going on. Mm-hmm. It used to be the owners, and now the players got the power, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think fans sometimes get mad because they get caught up in, man, that's my guy. But the players got the upper hand now, so.
Well, I always allude to you because you played in that era where you would wake up in the morning and you traded. They didn't get no consideration to the men who had families there. You packed in. So what LeBron started doing, and that's why people got pissed at LeBron. He started going all around. I'm going to go where I want to go. I'm going to go where I want to go. Because they treated y'all just like that, Liv.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and that's why I don't get like what some people get upset at when a certain player, decides to say, I want to get traded. But if the management trades you, you're okay with it. Like,
right.
The fan is okay with it because the management did it. So now if the player asks for a trade, he's selfish or he wasn't that good anyway. Get him out of here, trashing him.
Burning your jersey.
Yeah, come on, man. So it's cool that is happening now. Sure, I don't want it to go to the extreme where, you just every time you talk, it's public, just do it behind closed doors, get with the management and say, you know what, I'm not happy. Can I get traded? Can I do this? I like to go play for such and such. If you can get something good back from me, handle it behind closed doors. That's what I would like to see. But, some of these players got, relationships with certain media and they let them get a hold of it first and they put it out there. And next thing you know, it's on everybody's, platform.
Hey, Derek Brown, what's up, Derek Brown? He said Brooklyn should trade Kyrie for Dame. He said Kyrie is a cancer in his opinion. Okay, there we go. What do you think about that? You think Kyrie's a cancer?
Man, when I see Kyrie Irving, probably the most skillful guard in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the off the court is what people have issues with. Things that he don't believe in. He may have gotten hurt a couple of times and didn't play. I don't know him personally, but I know when he do play, when he is out there on the court, he's playing. I know he's playing to win.
He's box office, right?
But he could be one of those type of players that shakes up a locker room, and it gets hard for players to probably play for him. I don't know, but I do know he's a skillful point guard who knows the game. He knows the game. And for him to say he wanted to come back home and play in New York, he got his wish. For off the court things that management didn't agree with, and they didn't have that in the contract. So, he should abide by his contract. But this is when COVID was going on, and it's something that he didn't believe in. So I don't want to get into details on that. I just know Kyrie, the basketball player, he gets down. He gets down between those lines.
Yeah, he quite possibly might have the coldest layup package in NBA history.
Facts. Facts.
The man in his layup game is yeah. The way players are flocking to one team takes away from the value of a championship. What happens to the off-season grind? You're right, man. Back when Magic and them played and stuff like that, you might have had 2-3 good players, but then I ain't gonna use Magic and them because they had 4-5 Hall of Famers on that team. So, but they reserves though, like Kurt Rambis and all those guys that came off the bench, man. That's what make the team. You can't have a team full of superstars, man. It's not gonna work.
Well, you really look at it back in the day, it was really what teams that we talked about. Let's say in the 80s and in the 90s. What teams did we always talk about? The Lakers, Boston, Detroit, the Bulls.
And Philly.
Mm-hmm. With Dr.
That was
J.
it. That was
5 teams.
And Timmy now, San Antonio.
That was 5 teams, man. That's 6 teams now if you throw in San Antonio. But I'm just saying, really, the ones you saw on television a lot back in the 80s was Philly, Boston, Bulls, and Detroit.
And the Lakers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't see all these other teams, because of the network deals that they had or what have you. But back then, that's what it was. So now we got the players, not just the owners who's, owning these, teams, asking or telling the general manager, I need Magic. If you watch that documentary about the Lakers, Magic basically ran that team. That's what I'm saying. So people thinking it didn't happen back then. Magic told the organization, look here, I can't play for this coach. The coach is not letting me play my game.
Paul Westphal?
Yeah. And basically, it was either Paul Westphal. It was either Magic or him. The owner was like, shit, I'm not letting go Magic. We just won a championship with him.
Right.
So that's been going on for years, man. The players really running the league. Running the teams.
Right. I know Michael Jordan tried it too with The Last Dance. They didn't want Tim Floyd. What was his name? Tim Floyd. So they were like, if Phil Jackson not coming, we not coming back. Reinsdorf and Cross, they didn't care. But put that comment up that Carbell put up about the young kids. We was talking about that. How he said young kids are coming into college or the league. We see it all the time. Too much wear and tear on these kids' bodies and emphasis being put on AAU and club ball.
Okay, see, I don't see that on here. So that must be on your page.
It's actually on your page. But it's probably further up into the feed.
Yeah, he's probably not on All Ball Chicago, though.
Right. He's saying basically, man, it's too much emphasis being put on kids playing AAU ball and travel ball and stuff like that. Because most of these kids are playing 82 games in the summer.
Right.
So by the time they get to college, that's why they're getting hurt. What do you say to that?
Well, how can you mandate that? That's what, that's what the question needs to be asked, because if you do like put some kind of restrictions on that, now the shoe companies are hurt, because they want these young kids in their shoes early.
Right.
So when they do make it to the pros, they can pick and choose what shoe brand they want to go to. So it's crazy how this stuff all works out, man. But it all comes down to money. It all comes down to money, and if they're gonna shorten the season, maybe they should do that. The Nikes and the Adidas and the Under Armours, they should shorten the AAU seasons, travel ball seasons, where they only play a certain amount of games and then let them, get some rest and get ready for, playing in college. You can do that. It's just that's a touchy one, man, because like I just said, the Nikes of the world. Did we freeze up?
Yeah, you froze for a minute.
Did we freeze up?
You froze for a minute.
Yeah, but I think that's what the case is.
But there's some relief going on here because they got the name, image, and likeness. So if you're good, you can get money.
Yeah, but then you got to look at the flip side of that too, Bob. And I don't think we ever really touched on this. The longer you stay in college, the older you get. And what is the NBA really taking? They taking young boys. They taking those one and done. They taking those kids that's in the G League.
The Ignite.
They taking those young guys. They got overtime. You got the overtime. Pros kids going there playing overtime, putting their name in the draft. So they're taking young kids. They not really. We did talk about this on one of our shows. They're not really taking, those seniors. You may get three, maybe three or four to get drafted, but the majority of them are young kids that's getting drafted into the NBA. So kids are seeing that. So they were like, well, I'm not going to miss this opportunity. I know we have the name, image, and likeness that we can go make some money off our name, but am I going to miss the opportunity for me to make it into the NBA too?
And you know what? And it's a double-edged sword, because while they are taking younger players, the younger teams are not winning titles. It's the older teams that's winning the title.
Right.
So if it's me, I'm going to get the older guys, because if it's all about winning the title, I know these young boys can't sustain the run against these old vets. They can't. Look at Golden State.
And that could be
Steph Curry now.
And that could be the reason why some of these kids don't stick, because they get with the teams that's not so good. You get coaches getting fired, because the likely of a coach getting fired at that team, because they're always at the bottom.
Right.
They're gonna probably get fired. So now the kid's gonna have to get used to somebody else's philosophy coming in, and it might not be the right fit for that kid. So then that's when you see. That's why you see kids probably not, panning out in the NBA.
Well, and Liv, we can always go to this, and you're a knowledgeable guy. The last few look like the last 3, 4, 5 championships that came through the NBA. It was all veteran teams. Milwaukee Bucks, Toronto Raptors, that Lakers team that won it, the team Golden State that won it this year. This is all vets. So they can keep bringing these young boys in thinking it's sweet. If I'm rebuilding, I'm going to get veteran players. I'm going to get older guys. Because even when Michael Jordan was winning, they had a team full of vets. They even went and got Robert Parrish. Remember that year they went and got Chief.
Right.
So, but they became Hall of Famers because they won so much. Who?
Yeah, I think he was talking about something we talked about earlier.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but it's just a proven fact. Even in college, even the national championship, those were seniors over there in Kansas. All those guys were seniors, juniors and seniors. They're not finna let some young bucks come in there. The one and dones ain't like they used to be with the Juwan Howards, and like you could have been a one and done, like Chris Webber and them. I think Juwan Howard stayed
Yeah,
years.
none of those guys left one. They wasn't one and done.
Right.
None of
They
them.
wasn't none of them one and done. So it's just a proven fact that
The
the
one and
older you
dones
get,
didn't start. The one and dones didn't start coming into like I think the Derrick Rose era. You know, they started Derrick Rose.
But an 18-year-old kid is not ready to go in and compete against no grown man.
But Bob, back to what you just said earlier, though, it's about money.
Right. I mean, they ready to compete, but to be able to win on that level, it's a totally different thing, man.
It's about the money, man. You know, the kids want the money. You know, you telling them to stay, and they like, shoot, I just did in 1 year. I averaged such and such and did my thing out there on the court. I'm gone.
No, I'm not telling the kids to stay. I'm saying as an organization, if I'm trying to win a title, I'm not going to get them young guys. I'm sorry, I'm not. I'm going to build my team full of vets.
But you just said
I'll get some young talent.
But I'm saying in high school, they got to be young. You can't go the opposite. I mean, you could get somebody in the transfer portal. Yeah, you could do that.
Right.
You know, you could do that, but I'm saying they're young. They got to go play somewhere. They got to go from high school to college. Somebody got to take them.
Yeah.
You know, somebody had to take them. But yeah, man. But with the transfer portal, you could get away with it. You know, you can say, you know what, I'm not going to even waste my time on a young kid that's not developed in high school and go into the transfer portal and get me somebody that's polished.
Like Baylor. Baylor did it that year. Baylor went and got all those kids, man. Them JUCO transfer. And I mean, they did it. There was a time when Kentucky recruited the best players but did not win multiple titles. I agree. I think Calipari only won one title since he's been there, right?
That's right.
He only won one title, and that was with AD.
That's right.
That one and done stuff, man, a lot of that stuff be hype, man.
Well, you can say he was kind of the one that, you know, I would say push started it, you know, that, you know, these kids need to play 1 year and I'm going to be the one that gets you there. And remember that one team he had, he subbed in 5 and put in 5 and subbed in 5, you know, off the bench, you know, and it looked good because he had all of the one and dones, all of the top players, you know, but now, you know, it's kind of open market now. Now you got, okay, North Carolina says, well, I might as well get into it. And then you had Kansas getting into it. And so now all those one and dones wasn't just going to Kentucky, you know. So, and plus, man, you gotta, when you get that many kids on one team, you know, you got a lot of egos. You know, you got people that, you know, said, I came here to play. You know, I want to hoop. You know, and when you're not giving him the proper minutes, and it kind of hurts. You know, if they were doing transfer things back then, when he first got on the scene in Kentucky, I think he would have had a lot of kids transfer. You know, but it was.
You know how I feel to be sitting on the bench and you know you better than the guy in front of you. But you might not. Well, you do know.
No, that. I do know. I was.
I
came. I was off the bench for the University of Illinois.
I know. Yeah, as the number one player in the nation.
Yeah, man.
And have to come off the bench. And I'm not knocking any of those guys in Illinois, but we do know that at 6'8", you was more skilled than a lot of those guys. So you had to sit over there with sweaty palms, like waiting your turn, and that's a hard thing to do.
Man, yeah, because I'm looking at the coach ready to go behind him and just knock him upside his head. I was like, man, I gotta get his attention, man. He's looking like I'm not even here,
right? You know, and that's a hurting feeling, man.
It is,
as a player.
It is, and I think college basketball have changed. I think the NBA has changed, and I think we just gotta deal with it. Pretty much. I don't think, you know, if we start talking about the way it was when we were playing, of course it's going to be different. Of course the talent was different. The talent now and back then is a little bit different.
Right.
You know, and I'm not going to say a little bit. It's a lot different, you know.
Well, the style. The style has changed it.
You know, they didn't have a lot of 6'9" or 7 foot shooting threes back in the day. They were inside players. No matter what, if they had the offensive skills to be out there, they were in the paint. Majority of them.
Right. Yeah. And you know, they were only allowing certain people to shoot threes. They was only allowing certain people to put the ball on the floor. It was more specialists back then. And me and you can both agree that Steph Curry changed all of that. He really, that Golden State team really changed the trajectory of basketball forever. You think?
Yeah, I think, man, when they started, Golden State started basically playing positionless basketball.
Mm-hmm.
When Draymond Green was bringing the ball up, but he was really only 6'8" or 6'7", playing center, so he had the advantage on a big that's trying to come out on him, and he got all that ball movement. This was being played back in the days. When Magic and them won their championship, that's how they were playing. Pass, move, cut, react, throw the ball in the cap, let Captain, let the Kareem throw his hook shot up, boom, and we off and rolling. They double team, James Worthy, you cut, boom, coming down the middle, one hand dunk.
Right.
They were doing all that stuff back then. It just came back to surface again with these younger coaches saying, you know what, let's pass, move, or push the ball. If you get the rebound big, you can push the ball up the court.
Yeah, I'm glad they opened it up, man. I'm glad it evolved because it gave more guys more opportunity as opposed to sending the dude on the block.
Think about this. Kevin Durant is 7 foot.
Yeah.
Back in the day, he would be in the post.
He would definitely be in the post.
And he's too what? He's too light. Yeah,
he's too light.
And
so they probably wouldn't even wanted him then.
No,
right?
No. I mean, his skills were decent. Like his skills were good. So I wouldn't say he wouldn't play or make it, but he wouldn't be getting them buckets like he's doing. Like they wouldn't be like, you can bring it up and handle it and shoot your 3 ball like you do.
It'd be more like Brad Sellers.
That's a good point. That's a good point. It's a good point because I think Brad Sellers can handle the ball and do his thing, but he didn't get those opportunities.
He didn't get those opportunities.
Yeah, because
wasn't Brad Sellers about 6'10"?
No, he was 7 foot from Ohio State. From Ohio State.
He came around when you came around. Y'all around the same age.
He's older than me. Yeah, he's older than me. But you're right. Brad Sellers is a perfect example of what you're just talking about. He was a center. He was a little light.
But he had the ability to put it on the floor.
He had some skills. Yeah, he has some skills. Shoot some jump shots, rim protector. But he didn't get that full opportunity.
Right, because the game, they wanted to keep it conventional.
Right. If he was playing in this era, man.
He you know what, Brad Sellers, we need to find him. He probably would say that, man, if I came around right now.
I think a lot of players I would say that, shoot, man, I can play, 14, 15 years in this era.
Right. And I agree with if I could have played in this era, like with the style, because I played very fancy. I was a showboat, and coaches just did not like that. It was just like, he's just trying to showboat, but that was my game. It wasn't that I was trying to showboat. It just wasn't a lot of people doing those crossovers and all that stuff back then. It just wasn't. So to them, it looked like you hot dog, but in reality, this is what we're doing in the playgrounds. So yeah, man, the game is it has evolved, and I'm interested in seeing where it's gonna go from here.
Right
after Steph Curry and them, because what else could possibly happen? We've seen a big 6'9" guard in Magic. We saw a guy like Michael Jordan. We've seen a big guy like Shaq. We've seen a guy that's shooting from half court like Steph Curry. Where is it going to go from here? What else can they do with it? What can happen?
Man, changing more rules, putting in 4-point plays and 4-pointers. It's going to be crazy, man. You already know.
You're going to turn it into a carnival.
Oh, yeah, man.
But they already put the freedom of movement rule in. You can't defend nobody. You can't touch them.
Right. So it's going to be interesting, man. But I'm excited about the college season. I'm really waiting to see, what's going to be happening in Kentucky and what's going to be happening in the Big Ten and what's going to be happening in the Big East and the Pac-12. They talking about the Big Ten and the Pac-12 combining now.
Wow.
So it's going again,
the Big
Bob,
Ten and Pac-12.
Again, Bob, it's all coming down to money again, man. Because you got to think the Big Ten got a couple of teams. Remember they got the Rutgers. They got Maryland to come and join. So they got that market, from the East Coast. And now they're going to the West Coast to get that market, man. I mean, it's
and
crazy,
Big Ten is all about that money.
It's all about that money, man. It's all about that bread.
Is the Big Ten one of the more wealthier conferences?
I would say so. I would say
Is it the most wealthy one, or is it the ACC? It's got to be one of them two.
I would agree with you wholeheartedly with that, because I'm thinking of the two like major sports, basketball and football. They both are pretty solid in both of those conferences that you just mentioned.
Right.
So they definitely bringing in bread. They
bring
in top dollars, to those conferences. So yeah, definitely, man. Definitely.
Right. Wow. Man, it's big money. And then with the name, image, likeness thing, it's just gonna get even crazier, man.
Well, that's what they're trying to get away from pay to play. But the big dogs, they using this as, man, thank you. Now we don't have to go up under the table. We can basically just let our big time boosters set up some kind of funds, or saying this is what's going to help our kids get their name, image, and likeness and get some money off of it.
Well, I'm just so grateful that these young kids are able to benefit off of that, man, off of their sweat equity. Because you and I both know the NCAA has made billions and billions and billions of dollars over the last 50 years off of young athletes like you and the guys before you and after you. And you walk away from the game with nothing if you don't go pro.
Right.
So at least you can get some money. Oh, wow. This ain't that network. Big Ten just got a multi-billion-dollar TV deal. Ooh.
I'm gonna leave that up there.
That's amazing, man. We don't understand the magnitude of the TV deal. And what people don't understand about the TV deal is this. Those commercials, they got to pay $1 million a second, a lot of those commercials. So those advertisers who putting Clorox on during the game or putting Wheaties on during the game, they paying top dollar to advertise during those games. So that's why they're able to pay out all this money. You know what I'm saying, Liv?
And then I think the powerhouse teams in that conference structures deals too, right? So they structures the deal. So let's say your Michigan football program or your Ohio State program, they're part of that Big Ten network. But they're on television because Big Ten has their own network, so they do highlight all the games. They do all the games. But I was saying back in the day, they used to have only certain teams that could do it. But yeah, the Big Ten network has their own network. That's why it's probably a little bit easier for them to say, I control it because I'm putting all you guys on television.
Wow, that's
on
huge,
the network.
Man.
$7 billion. That's what they said. That's what my man was saying right here.
$7 billion deal.
Wow.
All I need is 1 million of that. Just 1 million of that Big Ten network. Just one. That just goes to show you, man. Now that the rabbit is out the hat, you're starting to see that dollar sign.
That's right, because that's been happening for a very long time. That these networks was getting paid. They've
been getting paid.
Yes. Yeah.
So that now Pandora's box is open, and now we're seeing the money. Show us the money. Now all I want to see now is how much these owners are making off of NBA teams.
Yeah, terms
undisclosed.
But somebody had mentioned that on a podcast. I don't know who said it, but they did mention it, and that's why a lot of the players went back to the table and started talking like, "What? You making $700 million and we can't get none of that? You know, you making these TV deals and we can't get none of that." So that's what happened. Somebody did open up the books and saw it. And then that's when they started, the players saying, well, we need to get a part of that TV deal. And I think that's what happened, But yeah, we did, Derek. We did forget about North Carolina. That's right. To me, North Carolina will be favored to win it all this year because they had all their players pretty much come back.
You're right. I forgot about North Carolina.
I think the one kid that was there, the shooter, I can't think of his name, the white kid that can shoot the ball with the mullet. I think he.
Oh, you're talking about the old man looking dude?
Yeah. I think
he was tough though.
I think he left.
What was his name?
I don't know, but he can shoot.
Peyton Brady, Braden Manning, something like that. I know he had a football.
Boy, you're thinking about Peyton Manning, boy.
No, his name was like it was mixed with Manning and Brady.
Okay.
You remember that?
I just remember the kid's face, but I do know they had a solid team, and all of those guys are pretty much coming back. North Carolina, to me, would probably be the favorite to win it all.
Yeah, and knowing Hubert Davis, he gonna come up in there, man. He got them boys ready, cause he had them ready this year. I didn't know that they were gonna make it that far, man.
And Caleb, that's what Derek said. Caleb Love, the shooting guard, who was hurt. He was hurt in that championship game. I think if he was healthy, I think we would probably have a different champion. National champion.
But no, Kansas was solid all year, man.
Man, no, if that kid wasn't hurt, if Caleb Love was not hurt, it would have been a different outcome, man. I'm telling you.
Well, injuries play a big part of it.
That kid was killing, man. That kid was killing.
Because, we can say that about Phoenix Suns. Chris Paul can't never make it to the end. And then your boy, he was hurt too in Phoenix. What's his name? Devin Booker. So every year, Golden State, they get a free path to the finals because throughout that process, they managed to stay healthier than their counterparts. Just think about it. Steph Curry them stay healthy the whole time. We got to get up to Steph, though. He lit them up this year, man.
Yeah, Steph. But Steph is a bad boy, man.
He a bad boy, man.
He's a bad boy, man. Devin Booker, he's a bad boy, man, when he comes to shooting that rock, man. And he got a little toughness with him, too. I like that.
But do you think that the pace of this game is putting wear and tear on these boys, though, quicker than they did when you guys played?
I think it's the shoes, too, man. The shoes are lighter. You can think about it. The shoes are lighter than when we played. We had those big bulky shoes, man, that it was we couldn't cut like we wanted to cut. So now these guys got these light shoes, and I don't think you have enough support. So when you're making these cuts and it's easy.
You're right, man. You're right. Because they're making them fast too.
Yeah. Light. They light on their feet. They jumping, and it's almost like you're playing with nothing on your feet, but it's got to have some kind of protection to keep it, nice. But yeah, I think it's the shoes, man. I think it's the shoes, the technology they have now, man, with these shoes, man. To feel like you have nothing on.
And I noticed that because even my sons, I tell them, man, to wear braces and no, it makes me slow. I'm like, no, man, it's gonna give you longevity. Because basketball, let's face it, the number one injury in basketball is a rolled ankle.
Yeah.
And kids nowadays, they want to wear low top shoes, they want to wear them Kobe Bryant shoes. Let's talk about that right quick, man. Kobe Bryant, the settlement for his case with his wife, they selling for what, $16 million? Because why would those people share those pictures out like that, Liv? Why would they do that?
Man, not caring about, family's feelings.
Privacy, man.
Trying to see what, the response would be if I got pictures of a Hall of Fame, a legend, in my phone. Why would you even want to take a picture?
I wouldn't want to see
that. So big ups to Vanessa for going to bat for her family and saying, you know what, that's not cool. I'm gonna fight this, and she won, and she's donating every penny to the Mamacita Foundation. So it's a win situation for her, and I just don't. I'm not going to talk much about it, Bob, but I just don't understand how people can't respect other people's privacy, when things, especially like that.
You got to be a very, very, very hardcore person to want to take pictures of a dead body and post it.
Right.
Like, I don't even want that to be in my eyesight. You know what I'm saying? Certain stuff, I don't want it to be in my soul. Like, if I was there, I would not have looked at that. Because I don't want to see my man Killer Kobe like that, So I want to remember him the way that he was. So it's just some people that's out here that just don't have a soul within them, and they don't care about who they hurt or whatever. But they 16 million, now they 16 million in a hole.
Right.
And they fired a lot of them guys too. So good.
Yeah. They'll think about it next time before they do something like that.
Yeah. So shout out to Kobe Bryant and his estate, man. Rest in peace, Kobe. We forgot your birthday was the other day. So rest in peace to my man, Killer Kobe Bryant, man.
Yeah, I put
my one beat.
I'll put it up there. I put the picture up there and told him happy birthday, man, because he meant a lot, man, to a lot of young kids, man. People watched him and then just hearing old interviews of him talking about how Michael Jordan actually took him up on his wing, you know, and mentored him. I think that's so special for Michael Jordan to actually do that and say, "Yeah, young fella, I got you." You know,
and the humility of him to humble himself and not be afraid to mimic, not be afraid to say, "Hey, I want to learn everything that you know." I think that's where we get lost at, Lid. You know, people don't
egos.
Too afraid. Ego, man.
Yeah, the ego, man. Like he could have easily came in the league over and said, "Man, I ain't trying to talk to nobody. I'm gonna be me and do." But he said, "You know what? That was one of the guys I used to watch. Let me get some information from him, what it takes." Not only him, he sat down and talked to Kareem. He sat down and talked to Hakeem Olajuwon. He sat down and talked to a lot of guys just to get some input, some feedback on what the NBA was all about. Even Gary Payton, you saw an interview with him, and Gary Payton taught him how to play a little bit better defense, you know. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah, man. And after that, he won. You know, he was first team all defensive all the time, and he gave credit to, you know, the glove for that, GP.
And we know GP was lock, and that's what let that be a lesson to anybody that got a young child out here that's trying to play basketball. You know, you got to be a student. You got to know the history. You got to inquire. You got to ask and be humble. Yes. You know, then you can grow.
I agree with you, Bob, 100%, man. You should not be afraid. You shouldn't think that you're better or you're already there. You know, ask them questions. Try to get the information. Try to go out there and see how I can plan my basketball career by listening to guys that have been there and done that.
You know, it's just like anything that you do. If you're gonna be an electrician, you want to be around the best electricians out here. Me being in real estate, I try to learn from people who are really good at real estate. You know, it's just you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You know.
So before we get out here, who is your NBA champion this coming season? Just throw it out there now, so we can go back.
You know, people gonna eat me. People gonna eat me alive. But I'm gonna go with KD and them. Since KD going back to Brooklyn, if they come back healthy and they stay together, and if Kyrie play all season and Ben Simmons them play all season, I gotta go with Brooklyn, man. I think KD and Kyrie is just too much, man, for any team, man, when they healthy.
Not a bad one, man. Not a bad one.
You agree?
I semi-agree.
You gonna go with Milwaukee?
I would go with Milwaukee, man. Or, you know, Boston. I mean, I gotta look. That East.
What did Boston get this year?
That East is
that guard spot.
I don't know. That East is gonna be tough.
Yeah. Before we go, let me see who they got. They got somebody popular, Lid, at that guard spot.
The East is gonna be tough, man. You know, you got Milwaukee, you got Brooklyn. I don't know what the Knicks got. I mean, you could even throw Detroit in the mix, but I ain't saying win it all. But Detroit is gonna give a lot of teams problems.
So I'm trying to see who did they get.
You know what, Bob? I'm gonna switch that up. Man, I'm riding with Denver, man. I'm gonna go with Denver
to win it.
I'm going with Denver.
Why? Because you played there?
No, man. They got my man coming back.
Who?
Murray will be back.
Man, they ain't gonna win it, man. I'm sorry, bro.
And they probably be giving people problems, man. They watch me, man. Watch what I say. I'm going with Denver, dude. I'm going with the
That's gonna change one day.
Hey, I'm riding with the Denver Nuggets, baby.
Who did the Celtics pick up?
You silly, man.
He said Denver. Oh, man.
I don't think the Celtics picked up anybody that you're talking about that's going to be a major factor, dude. Did they?
Malcolm Brogdon.
Oh, there you go.
That's who they got.
That's the solid. He's a solid guard. He is. He's solid.
And they got Gallinari.
That's solid. So Boston got a good chance to come out of the East too. So you got a lot. You ain't even mentioned the Chicago Bulls. What you gave up on them already?
We don't know what's gonna happen at our guard spot. Like I like Ayo Dosunmu, and I just don't know that. I don't know about the Bulls, man. I don't know.
But Bob, that's the same team that you was talking about last year.
I didn't say they were gonna win it though. I never said they were gonna win it. I didn't say the Bulls were gonna win it last year. I know that. Boy. Who did I pick last year?
The Bulls. You said the Bulls were gonna win it.
I don't think I said that. But there will be somebody to come on here and quote.
No,
because I did say Boston.
You said Milwaukee. You said Milwaukee.
I had Milwaukee. But then I know deeper I got into the playoffs, I put my foot in my mouth. I said Boston's best 2 players was better than Golden State's 2 players. And somebody called me on that recently online.
So to all our listeners out there, Bobby Reed will change at least 4 or 5 times throughout the season. I'm riding with Denver. So you hear me saying right now, I'm going with Denver. Now Derek said he's going with the Bucks or the Warriors.
Well, the Warriors, Derek Sykes, the Warriors is an easy one coming out of that West. I don't know, though, because we got the Clippers and we got the Lakers back retooled. You know? How many titles is this for Clay and Steph? Is that 4?
Because didn't KD get 2?
He got 2, and they had 1 before he got there.
Yeah.
So, they got 4.
Yeah.
And LeBron got 4, right?
Right.
Yeah. So, I think,
yeah, it's hard, man. That's a hard one. So we'll be tuning in throughout the season and talk more about what we think and who we think. As of right now, I say Denver, but mine will probably change too.
Oh, of course it's gonna change. Denver, man.
Oh man. With that being said, man, I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in and joining us. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel because we do rock with YouTube and we do our thing on there. And we got some big things coming up in the near future.
Absolutely, man. And I'm your co-host, Robert Bobby Reed. And I got the legend. I got the NBA veteran. I got the McDonald All-American. Your host, Marcus Liberty in the building. What you going to be on, Marcus?
It's lunchtime, man. It's lunchtime. It's lunchtime. Remember that? It's house. 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 Hey, man. Again, man, thank everybody for tuning in. We out of here, man.
Peace.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank y'all for watching.
Chicago. Oh, Chi-town. Oh, Chicago.